Moisture left in the air from today's wet weather, enabling a few shallow fog and mist patches to form here and there come dawn, but by and large away from the southeast, where it will be a bit of a grotty start tomorrow morning. Fine and bright from the word go. Stunning sunshine this Saturday across the length and breadth of northern and western Britain. Always a little disappointing across the southeast. Dull and damp, a few showery outbreaks, a chilly breeze from the near North Sea. Very different to today's situation. Elsewhere, the sunshine lifting temperatures to 20 or 21 degrees. Just a few fair weather clouds and hit and miss rogue showers. More sunshine into Sunday. A decent spring day. Highs of 20 or 21 degrees again. See you soon.
Heinz Seriously Good Mayonnaise sponsors ITV National Weather.
Technology,
tenants,
democracy,
deterrent,
protesters,
party, crown,
Congress,
volunteers,
ventilators,
rebellions,
refugees,
civilians,
safety, independent.
You have our word. Independent news is what we stand for.
Good evening. It has been a day of political drama across the region as local election results were declared. In Somerset, the Liberal Democrat leader described it as a political earthquake after the party seized the county from the Conservatives. David Wood has more.
Fantastic.
It's been a while since his party's celebrated in Somerset.
I wasn't expecting that.
Even the Lib Dems had been downplaying their chances in this county.
I'll tell you what, who weren't expecting it? The Tories.
His party has often promised a fight back in its traditional heartlands in the West Country, where it has struggled for nearly a decade.
And our victory's here in Somerset.
So is this the start of a comeback?
This is a historic moment for the Liberal Democrats across the West Country, but also, of course, here in Somerset. This is a victory that has far exceeded our biggest expectations. And I think of my political hero, Paddy Ashdown, who is looking down and celebrating tonight. The Liberal Democrats are back in Somerset. We're back across the West Country, and that's really exciting.
As counting started this morning, it was clear the Conservatives were losing their grip on the council. Something many of them had feared would happen, but hoped their vote would have held out. The outgoing council leader kept hold of his seat, but now must adjust to life in political opposition. And one topic mentioned time and again on the doorstep: lockdown parties in Downing Street.
With the national picture, what I've tried to do is to focus very much on local. And yes, it's been brought up on the doorstep from time to time, but not as much as the national media would want you to believe. So actually, we've tackled local issues, we've talked about local matters with people, local people, and they've made their local choice. That's what the county council and the new unitary council is. It's a local authority.
Brilliant.
It wasn't a brilliant night for Boris Johnson's side. Yes, there were wins elsewhere in the country, but the political picture here has changed. So does he blame Downing Street parties for voters turning their backs on him?
For mid-term, it's quite interesting that it's a mixed set of results. And I think the lesson that I take is that, you know, and you rightly quote the views from the doorstep, but the lesson is we've got to get on with the stuff that matters to people. We've got to keep delivering on our agenda.
Certainly seeing Lib Dems celebrating once again in Somerset will make many a Tory across the West Country very nervous tonight. David Wood, ITV News.
Well, elsewhere in the region, the Liberal Democrats held control of the council in Cheltenham, while the Conservatives have retained control of Swindon Borough Council. And in Bristol, there was an historic result, with voters deciding to scrap the mayoral system in favour of a committee arrangement with a council leader at the helm. Current Mayor Marvin Rees has 2 years left in office before the role is abolished. Richard Payne has more.
To the lunchtime crowd on College Green, nothing much was different today than yesterday. But behind the walls of City Hall, the winds of change are blowing. Change they and everyone else might know little about right now and care even less. But when the committee system replaces the directly elected mayor in 2 years' time, what happens inside here will impact them all.
The majority of those voting in the referendum
have voted in favour of one or more committees made up of elected councillors.
Parties of all colour, apart from the Labour Red one, joined forces to oust the mayoral system 10 years after it was introduced. They promised the people this is the first of many signs of collaboration to come. And there was this plea to Mayor Marvin Rees.
He could set up immediately a cross-party cabinet, a rainbow cabinet, and that would be a step in the right direction about bringing the people across the city from diverse communities in, because they would have their councillors representing them in that system.
It was that theme which won over the Bristol public, who backed the committee and council leader idea with more than 56,000 votes, nearly 18,000 ahead of keeping the status quo. A better than expected turnout of nearly 29% was higher than the 2012 referendum. A result Marvin Rees insists was not a reflection on his leadership, but one he fears will take the city backwards.
I think the committee system, the risk of the committee system is political anonymity, invisible decision making, and politics that get sucked into the machinations of party relations within this building rather than facing out to the city. Now, having said that, I hope I'm wrong, because the stakes are high.
This race for power may be run, but whether it's the public who'll be the real winners, we won't know that until the new system is put to the test. Richard Payne, ITV News, Bristol.
On to other news now, and a man from Norton Fitzwarren has admitted killing a married couple at their home while their children slept upstairs. Colin Reeves denied the murder of his neighbours Stephen and Jennifer Chappell on the 21st of November last year, but admitted manslaughter by reason of diminished responsibility. A trial date has been set for the 8th of June. Right, let's turn to sport now, and in rugby, Gloucester are out of the Challenge Cup after losing 15-44 at home to Saracens in the quarter-final this evening at Kingsholm. And in basketball, the Bristol Flyers suffered a narrow defeat to London Lions at the first leg of the BBL semi-final. The score there 83-85. They'll now head to the Copper Box Arena in London for the second leg on Sunday. Meanwhile, a 5-year-old boy is hoping he'll be a lucky charm for Bristol Rovers tomorrow as he leads them out for their last game of the season against Scunthorpe. Oscar Cridge, who has cerebral palsy, will be able to walk onto the pitch thanks to the generosity of strangers, as Carrie Davis now reports.
I've got the wrong colour trousers on today, haven't I?
Red.
I know. Oops. Should have worn blue ones.
Me. And you've got and you've got the wrong top.
I know, your kit is great.
Walking unaided onto the pitch with his beloved Bristol Rovers for so long seemed an unreachable goal. A kickabout like this was impossible 5 months ago. Oscar's cerebral palsy meant he needed a frame to walk and often used a wheelchair.
But now we just can't believe it, but we're chasing him around and as if he's a toddler. We're just not used to it. We used to put him somewhere and he used to stay, whereas now he does not stay.
No, he's got no fear.
Yeah, and no fear.
The incredible transformation is down to a 6-hour operation Oscar had in January, a procedure that cost £60,000. That's where Darren Sims stepped in to offer a helping hand. By organising charity events, he's raised over £1 million for different causes since 2007.
We get loads of requests, and I just thought, you know, they need the help, and it would be life-changing for Oscar to get this operation. There's been musicians, footballers, people had their heads shaved, they've been waxed. Loads of businesses have helped out, people have come together, and this is what's happened.
What would you say to them?
Thank you.
Yeah? How big is that thank you? Just a tiny thank you? Not this big?
No.
No, OK.
My arm can't go that big.
Your arms can't go that big.
From where we were to start, it was like, well, it just felt broken. Now that everything's kind of changed.
It's changed our life.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. That's OK, take time.
No, that's all right. You kind of grieve for what your life should have been at that time, but hopefully from now on we can be excited about what life can bring.
Yeah, it is kind of tears of happiness now.
So what things can you do now after your operation?
I can walk, I can run, I can jump. Walk without my frame and my wheelchair like I am now.
Well, now Oscar's going to show off his new skills at a packed Memorial Stadium. But he's taking it all in his stride.
That was Kerry Davis with that report, and good luck to Oscar tomorrow. Now let's take a look at the weather. Here's Charlie.
Feels like home, whatever the weather. Valent Boilers and Heat Pumps sponsors ITV West Country Weather.
Evening. This weekend is looking pretty fine. After what's been a bit of a cloudy and damp evening, we're going to see a return of some sunshine, some pretty decent temperatures, light winds, generally a warm feel. We've had a couple outbreaks of patchy light rain earlier on, but really for the rest of tonight, the skies are clearing. It's not going to be cold. I think most places will stay in double figures. Might be a little bit of low cloud here and there, a few mist patches as well. The countryside will be a little bit fresher than this, perhaps down to 6 or 7 Celsius, something like that by Saturday morning. Otherwise, though, good bit of fine weather to begin with. Bit of clouds perhaps lingering across parts of Gloucestershire and Wiltshire first thing. That'll break up, but it might return later in the day as temperatures rise. A bit of fair weather cloud starts to develop. Speaking of, temperatures will be up to around 20 or 21 Celsius across parts of Bristol and Bath. North East Somerset looks like it's probably going to see some of those highest temperatures. Very warm, moderate to high levels of UV as well, so sun protection at the ready, I think, as we head into the start of the weekend. You'll need it on Sunday too. It's a very similar sort of day to round off the weekend. Still some decent temperatures, still some decent amounts of sunshine. Slightly more cloud on Monday, perhaps. The Atlantic just wants to try and make its influence felt, which it will do on Tuesday with a couple of showers, but I think it'll stay quite warm.
Valent sponsors ITV West Country Weather.
Thanks very much, Charlie. That's the way things look tonight. We're back tomorrow evening at 6:20. Until then, have a great weekend. Bye-bye for now.